Thanks for stopping into the page today. We got a fun topic. We're going to be talking about how to customize your precision rifle to your specific body type, facial structure, things like that, because you were created one of a kind. All right, for better or for worse. So we need to adjust our rifles accordingly. A lot of people, will go into a gun shop, point at the wall, grab a good old Remington 700 and, be like, it's good to go. Not exactly, okay? There's a few things we need to adjust to get us to be the most consistent shooters possible. Whether you're doing a hunting trip, you're shooting competition, or you're just shooting for fun, there's a few tips that can get you a little more consistent, a little more accurate right out of the gate, okay? So what we're gonna be going over today is we're gonna be adjusting our length of pull, we're gonna be adjusting our cheek pieces, we're gonna be moving our scopes around, we're also gonna be adjusting our diopter focuses, all right? And all these are crucial fundamentals on getting a good natural point of aim, getting consistent shot every time, and just being comfortable on your rifle in general, managing recoil, all that stuff comes into play. I have quite a bit of experience on precision rifles. It was my job in the military to shoot these decently well. And I learned from some guys who have experience beyond this world. You probably wouldn't believe the stories that they told you, okay? So we're just gonna be going over some fundamental stuff, nothing crazy yet. And then maybe in the future we'll get into some more advanced videos and things like that. Okay, so with that being said, this is not just for bolt guns. Okay, these fundamentals apply to AR style rifles, bullpups, whatever you got. If you want to shoot it a little more accurately and you're shooting a rifle cartridge specifically, and you have a high powered optic, this video is gonna help you out. Okay. So we're going to be starting with our length of pull. All right, you might be asking yourself, Rob, what the heck's length of pull? Basically, it's the distance from the end of your butt plate here down to your bang switch. Okay, so this is a crucial measurement to get right. That way we can be squared up behind our rifle for one. And be able to, run your bolt like an absolute savage and get back onto your trigger comfortably without shifting your position. Okay, so mine adjusts with these basic locking rings right here. I know some of you might not have those. You might have something more traditional, like you may have some inserts that you can put in there and you just need an Allen key, whatever the case may be. If you don't have any of those, maybe go online and you can look at different sleeves or pads you can put over the end. Just kind of get creative because this is a pretty crucial measurement to get right. All right. So before we get started manipulating our gun, let's go ahead and clear it out. I'll just get way down in there. All right. Visually inspect. We're good to go. Okay. Please always inspect your rifle before you work on them. That way you don't shoot your house. Okay. All right. So to get a good general length of pull, what you can do is the old pocket of the elbow trick. Okay. So if you want to do this with me at home, kind of feel like Dora doing that, but we'll do it anyway. Go ahead and put the butt plate into the pocket of your elbow right there. And then you're just going to take this hand and you're going to wrap it around. And what we're looking to achieve here is a 90-degree trigger pull. Okay, so you're looking for this knuckle to be completely 90 degrees while the trigger is on the center of the pad of your finger right here. Okay, that way when we get into our prone position, we're pulling that trigger straight back into the rear. We're not having to extend our finger or, over penetrate. All right. Now, this measurement that you did right here is going to pretty closely translate when you get in a good prone position to be able to get your shoulders squared up behind your rifle, be able to run your bolt. All right. It may not be an exact science to that. So what I recommend doing after you do the pocket of your elbow trick, go ahead and get in a good prone position, square your shoulders up, make sure they're level, and test it out. If something's not right, that's where you can make those finite adjustments if you can, or add another spacer, whatever the case may be. All right. We're looking to be as comfortable on our rifles as we can. Okay. So it's time to get a little cheeky. All right. We're going to be adjusting our cheek pieces. So again, mine adjust with these locking rings like that. There's aftermarket sleeves and pads you can put on top and things of that nature, okay? This is also very important because we need to rest our heads on something. Especially if you have a heavy dome like I do. Mine's at least 150 pounds, I'd say. So I don't want to hold that up in the same spot every time because my neck muscles are going to get super sore. I'm going to end up looking like Tom Hardy from The Warrior, just an absolute trap god. All right. But what I would rather do is rest the full weight of my head on my cheekbones. Okay. So you may hear this in the precision rifle world. You want to maximize bone support and you want to minimize muscular tension. That way, you know, because your muscles get tired, your bones don't really get tired. I mean, they kind of do, but your muscles get tired a lot faster than your bones do, okay? So we're gonna take those nice cheekbones that your mama gave you, and you're gonna rest the full weight of your head on those cheekbones using your cheek piece, okay? So we need to adjust our cheek pieces so that we can rest our heads and look straight down the tube of our scope. All right, that way we can just pretty much fall asleep on our rifle. We close our eyes, open our eyes, we're in the same spot. So get in a good prone position, adjust your cheek pieces accordingly. We're looking for no scope shadow on the top or bottom. All right, if you have even scope shadow around your entire reticle, we're gonna be adjusting our scopes to kind of mitigate that, okay? So that's all right. As long as that reticle's in the center of your scope while you're looking through it, you're good to go. Time to move our scopes around, folks. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and loosen up my nuts here. What we're gonna do here, I recommend getting a friend for this. If you don't have any friends, try to be a little bit cooler. Get out of the house, you know, try to meet some people. And then once they're trusted enough, maybe let them help you manipulate your firearms with you. Okay. And what we're going to be doing here is adjusting our scopes forward and back on our rail system to get good eye relief. All right, so now that we got our length of pull on our cheek pieces and all that, you should be pretty comfortable. We just need to move our scopes in and out. All right, so one thing we can do before we move our scopes is shrink that eye box down. And we're gonna do this by maximizing our power all the way. Okay, so I got a 25 power scope right here. I'm gonna put that mofo on 25 and we're gonna shrink that box down. Now, what is an eye box? Basically, it's the kind of forgiveness of your eye relief. So some scopes have bigger eye boxes than others, but basically what we can do is shrink it down by going full power. That way we're a little more precise when we're adjusting for our eye relief. So go ahead and get in a good prone position. Have your buddy move your scope kind of forward and back on your rail system and kind of just bracket it in until you have a nice crisp circle around your field of view. When you're mounting your scope back, you can kind of hear that little play. That is the play in between the Picatinny rails and my mounting mechanism. Okay, so what I like to do with my scopes is pick a side. I usually push my scope all the way forward and then I will torque it down from there. Make sure you're torquing your scopes down to the right specs. That way the inertia of that recoil, you know, especially if you're shooting a heavy load like 300 Win Mag and up, you know, if you don't have a really good brake, there's going to be a lot of inertia moving this rifle around. So if you have your scope floating in the middle of those Picatinny rails it's just a better chance of a little bit of play in there and throwing off your zero. Okay, just a little tip. All right, now that we've adjusted our scopes, I'm going to show you a little flashlight trick in regards to eye relief. All right, so what we'll need is a flashlight, not a fleshlight, Marines, a flashlight. We'll also need a white piece of paper. Okay, and what we're going to do is take our flashlight, we're going to send it through our objective lens here, and then that light is going to travel through the back end, and then you'll see kind of a beam of light come through from your ocular lens. Okay, now you'll notice, if I'll turn the paper a little bit, that beam of light will converge and diverge. I think those are the right words. Basically, it's getting bigger and getting smaller as I move it in and out. All right. Now, what we're looking for perfect eye relief is wherever that beam of light is most concentrated. So it looks like to me about right there, if you can see that beam of light is nice and tiny. All of those light rays are converging into one specific spot. Now that spot is where you want your eyeball every time. Okay, so what I'll do is make a mark with like a paint pen or something like that. That way, when our objective lens is capturing all that light, it's taking that image, those light rays are kind of spreading out and coming back together, hitting some mirrors, flipping it around, doing some black magic, and it's basically all coming out into one spot. And that specific spot is where it should just be gang banging your retinas. Okay, that way you get that good field of view in all those colors. Christmas, we can get into crazy scope terminology and things like that, but that is where you want your face every time. So I like to make a mark there. That way, if I'm getting into, sitting position, standing, and, my position kind of gets a little different than my prone, I can look at my cheek piece and be like, okay, I need to scoop my face up somehow a little bit to get that perfect eye relief. All right, just helps you out. Okay, now that we've done the flashlight trick, you almost had me. Now that we've done the flashlight trick, we can adjust our diopter focuses. So what does a diopter focus do? Basically, it's adjusting the reticle to your vision. You'll hear this in precision shooting a lot: focus on the reticle and not your target. It's hard to focus on the reticle if your eyes are straining to focus to the reticle. Okay, so we need to adjust this as such. So what we'll need again is a white piece of paper. That way we can put it on the end of our objective lens here, so we can block out any background and we have good contrast with our reticle. Okay, black reticle, white piece of paper, and we're just focusing on our reticle. If we don't use this piece of paper, your eyeball is going to try to strain to your background a little bit and things are going to get a little weird. Okay, so go ahead and block out your background. I recommend getting that maybe same trusted friend to hold the piece of paper for you and getting that good prone position. And you just want to bracket it in, kind of like how we did with our scope adjustment. Bracket it in, wait until that reticle is nice and crispy. And then once it is nice and crispy, you can make a little mark with a paint pen. I like to do it like on my scope body and my ring. That way, before my competition or my hunt or anything like that, I can just pop my scope cap off. Oh, yep, I double check it. Maybe it's off a little bit, got bumped, whatever the case. Throw it back on, and now I know I am not gonna get a migraine from shooting all day, and I won't get all poopy face. I won't get poopy face about that, maybe about the wind, I get a little poopy face about that sometimes. That's pretty much it for setting up your rifle for yourself. I hope you learned a little bit. Hope you're a little more accurate, whether you're doing competition shooting, if you're hunting an animal. I hope you're a little more ethical in your shooting abilities. If you like this video, please give me a like or a subscribe. That would really help me out. If you didn't like this video, I guess I'll just go myself. Just kidding. If you didn't like this video, just stay, 50 yards in. Okay, so thanks for partying with me. I'll see you next time.